Welcome back to Hobbyist Novitiate. My name is Josh, and this time we're painting the Calth High Guard. Grab a hot drink and a biscuit and let's dig in. These guys are from Ultramar, from the planet of Calth, as the name would suggest. They're known for fighting alongside the Ultramarines against the Word Bearers, and also later on in the Heresy with some of the Dark Angels. Straight off the bat you can tell they are sort of clean, polished, very soldiers of Gondor in a way, with their sort of bright silver armour, the white undersuit, and the ultramarine blue shoulder pads. These guys are fancy, they mean business. Looking at their vehicles, you can see these beautiful white hulls with blue heraldry. I really wanted to use these guys as a way of experimenting with painting really clean vehicles, something I don't do very often. Normally I weather lots, but these guys, I thought, let's keep that to a minimum. Make it look like it's been in service, but also really well maintained, really well cleaned and looked after. Someone out there is giving it a good chamois down quite often. So as always, we're starting from Chaos Black, and I'm coming in with a Corax White drybrush. This is, as often with my first drybrushing coat, quite a rough, ready, just getting a good solid coat across the entire hull, but still trying to leave those recesses nice and dark. I'm using my rounded tipped dry brush this time. I kind of alternate back and forth between this one and the Games Workshop sort of chisel tip. I kind of like the round one actually. It gives you just slightly more control. After that I'm using White Scar to brighten up all of the top panels and the high spots, really getting anywhere that's going to be hit by light more than the recesses. I kind of want this to be a nice, clean looking surface, so I'm going heavier than I normally would on this final coat. Once that's done, I'm using Macragge blue, of course, getting the ultramarine heraldry colours in there, painting in some nice stripes down the side of the hull. The key here is just keep your paint nice and thin so that it comes off the brush easily. Make sure you've got a good steady hand and go slowly. Take your time, just build up those shapes. You can always make them wider, but it's a lot harder to make it narrower. So start thin and work your way up. These front ones are much smaller, but I've painted quite a few of them now, and I've kind of got my eye in for it. I find going sideways like this really helps. Just following along the edge of that panel. After that I wanted to give a little bit of a highlight to the stripes, just to try and give them a bit of visual interest, so I've come in with Calgar blue and I'm just picking out some high spots. This is quite thin, so it's almost a glaze. It's only going to lighten the Macragge blue underneath, hopefully, rather than completely overpower it, which is a nice way of just giving a bit of variation across the stripe. It's quite subtle, but I think it does a good job of helping sort of trick the eye into believing that this model is lit by the sun and is a real full-sized vehicle rather than a teeny tiny little tank on a table. Once that's done, I'm going to come in and block out lots of the metallics. I'm using Leadbelcher as my starting colour here, going over the back hatch, the tracks, and lots of the little panels and sort of greeblies. There's some vents and some fans and some headlights and things like that. So I'm just finding those, blocking them out. I think this is when the model really starts to come together. You get to have a really good picture of what it's going to look like when it's done after this. It's a very satisfying part of the process. Yeah, here you go, pointing at all the different bits that I painted metallic because I forgot to film, I guess, those steps. Good job. After that I'm using Runefang Steel. I'm putting this straight onto the barrel, which normally I would probably highlight up from a Leadbelcher, but I really wanted it to be a nice, shiny, weapon. So I think I did 2 coats of this in the end just to get a nice even coverage. It's a good colour, Runefang Steel, just a nice bright silver. Using that same Runefang Steel here to just pick out, on the bits that I've previously painted with Leadbelcher, just picking out some of the high spots, giving them a little bit of an edge highlight almost here. Again, just to give a little bit of shape to them and a little bit of visual interest. That's gone pretty out of focus there, but you can kind of get the idea of what I'm doing, just running the edge of the brush along the raised points of those coils. I didn't paint the tracks with Leadbelcher. I painted them with Dwarven Iron from 2 thin coats, which is just a nice dark metallic. It's almost like a darker version of Leadbelcher. It's a lovely colour. It's quite thin and goes on very easily, especially for tracks. It flows into them really nicely. After that, we're looking at painting lots of trim, and we're going to use Glistening Gold, again from 2 thin coats. I've been really enjoying their paint recently. It's a really nice range, good colours, and they go on well. So I've just got a little bit of the paint on the side of my brush, and I'm running it around these high spots of trim. Letting the sculpt do most of the work on these bits, I think, is definitely the way. Just angle your brush right and then glide it along. Some of these bits are slightly harder where you have to get in there, but just work slowly, make sure your paint is thin enough that it comes off the brush nice and easily. Once that's done, I'm using my Runefang Steel, like we did on the Inwit Phalangites, to pick out the lenses. I really liked having them with a little bit of a glowing effect, so I'm going to do the same thing again here. So yeah, a nice bright steel, and then Magmadroth Flame over the top. I wanted to do something that's going to really stand out with the white and the blue and the gold, so I thought a good vibrant orange would look really nice there. Just tiny little bits here on all the spots, and here we go. Yeah, the finished result. Really pleased with this one. Love an army like this. I think between this one and the Inwit Phalangites, I'd have a really tough job picking a favourite. The clean look is really nice. I'd probably end up weathering them if it was my army, just because I really enjoy the process, but, you know, it saves you some time and some steps if you don't. I've seen lots of other people paint the Calth High Guard in loads of really different ways, actually, some to really good effect. It's a cool army, and you see it out there a fair bit. You can, if you'd like, go in our Discord channel. I'll put a link in the description below. We have a place where you can post pictures of your models. We love seeing them. It's always really cool to see what other people are painting. So give that a go if you want to. If not, no stress. Alright, I will see you next time.